Alrightio. I've got a tournament on tomorrow, so I thought I would show off the deck list that I plan of the deck that I plan to use in this said tournament. This is the Banishark deck. I did a few little tweaks with that. Managed to get this side deck finished up. I think last night or the night before, something like that. Um, so yeah, I don't want to dawdle or anything like that, so I'll just get on with this deck list for my Banishark deck. For those who don't know what the Banisharks do, it's basically just a bunch of fish and stuff. A lot of the ones that Shark uses in the anime and whatnot, and they just have really obnoxious effects with them being banished and whatnot. And I kind of like the deck archetype because it's something rather interesting and different. So I'll just get on with the deck list. I'll start with this Thriller Rabcar. This is a pretty good card. If you can get this into the grave, it's not too bad. If a fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can banish this card in your graveyard. The attack gets negated, and the attacking monster loses 500 attack. This is pretty good. It can only be used once a turn, but of course, since I'm only running one, that's completely irrelevant. Two big jaws are the 1800 beaters of the game. Completely different to what its effect is in the anime. I don't think anybody's even noticed what its effect is in the anime, but its real life effect is if this card attacked, it gets banished at the end of the battle phase. It's pretty straightforward. Plus, you can go into other little monsters and whatnot. That's basically what the deck's about. Little monsters stacking into powerful elixirs. This is one of my favourites. Needle Sunfish. Only two of these. When it's sent to the graveyard, one face-up monster the opponent controls loses 500 attack. So this is good to go into Xyz. Then using the Xyz effect, it can screw the opponent over by coughing up a few of their strong monsters' attack points, like blah. Shark Stickers, good work to combo with the Needle Sunfish, because when a fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster is normal or special summoned, this can be special summoned. Can't be used to synchro material, but you're more likely to use it for Xyz material because you can open up with these two, drop this one, then drop that, stack into Leviathan Dragon, and get rid of the Sunfish. You gain 500. Your opponent's monster loses 500. Plus, it's a nice little trick with who is a Black Ray Lancer, because the two monsters are both water attribute, and so you can use it on something like Legendary Six Samurai Shen. You can stack into Black Ray Lancer, get rid of Needle Sunfish, drop Shen to 2k, negate his effect, and if the opponent has any back row that you are not very comfortable about, just storm it or MST it if you've got them, which is pretty nice. Spined Gilman gives all your fish, sea serpent, and aqua type monsters an extra 400 attack while he's around. He's more likely going to be used for like synchro and Xyz purposes and whatnot, but the extra few points can't really hurt. My only tuner in the deck, Deep Sea Divas, which I'm running at 3 of course. These can drop something like Spined Gilman to go into level 5 synchros. I can also do strategies to go into level 9 synchros using this, the aforementioned Spined Gilman, and these little buggers, Triple Tengu. I can go into level 9 synchro if I have a reborn Tengu. I can just drop that and then go into that. 2, 3, 4 is 9, and that will lead to my level 9 synchro being dropped, which isn't Trish, so you can obviously guess what that is. Or I can just go normal that, special that, and I can go into 2 level 6s, provided I can bring another Tengu to the field after using the first. But yeah, Tengu's add some pretty good consistency to this deck, gotta say. 2 Winged Tortoise, the strongest of the wind no, actually it's not. Screw that. But it's a very useful one. I would run it at 3, but I just don't have the room. When a face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster you control is banished, you can special summon this from your hand as well, which is pretty good. 2 Air Orcas, you banish a fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster from your hand, nuke an opponent's face-up card, and then this goes to the banish pile until your next standby phase. So you can get rid of a few pesky little annoying cards that like to stick around face-up, like maybe Call the Haunted, Future Fusion if it's there. Sky Star Ray, direct attacker with only 600 points. It gets banished until your next standby phase if it manages to hit the battle for the battle damage. Fly Fang, 1600 piercer, once again is banished if it dishes out battle damage, and it comes back during the standby phase. And then there's Caius, which has helped me out of a fair few situations. I got rid of a Xian once with this, and I went on to take the game from there because my opponent had nothing to do. I have in the spells now one surface. It specials summons one fish, sea summon, or aqua type monster to the field in defense mode. Has to be level 3 or lower though. That's not a huge problem for me though. Fish and swaps. If I got two fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monsters in my banish pile, I just ditch a card and I can put them back into my hand with this. Gets a few extra pluses. Fish and Kicks banishes one card on the field if you have 3 or more fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monsters in your banished pile. Soul Release, which is a pretty good card. I decided to throw this in because I didn't have a lot of other effects that could put my fish into the banished pile. So when I've got a stack of them in my graveyard, I just drop this and I banish this, and I just banish a few of them. Then I can go on to the Fish and Kicks and Fish and Swaps plays. Mind Control, because it's useful. Avarice, this recycles any fish that are in the graveyard and could be useful for other effects like my Sunfish and also the Tengus. One MST, I would run a second but I just don't have the room. Heavy Storm and Dark Hole, don't have Monster Reborn, but in some cases it probably would be rather pointless, so it's not like it's completely necessary in this deck. Traps. Oh Fish, this is a monster effect negation card by activated by shuffling a banished fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster back into the deck, and it just negates the monster effect and nukes it. Pretty good. Fish Rain. This special summons a level 3 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster from your hand when another fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster on your field gets banished. Underworld Egg Clutch, similar thing, goes off when one of your things is banished, but instead it adds a level 4 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster from deck to hand. Poseidon Wave negates an attack, and for each fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster on your field, it burns your opponent for 800. Return from the different dimension. If I have a bunch of fish on the banish pile, I just drop this, and then I can just go Xyz, blah 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 blah. Gravity Bind. Most of my monsters are unaffected by this, especially my Xyz, so I can just head out hard with that. Dust Shoot, because it's pretty useful. I got this in a trade yesterday. It's not too bad. And Torrential Tribute. Okay, so that's the main deck. Now I got an extra deck. My 2/5s are Sea Dragon Lord. I've got to pronounce the last name because it's stupid. When a face-up level 3 monster on the field gets sent to the grave, this goes to 3k attack, so it's a nice little beater. Haven't summoned it yet. Android, it's there. I mean, we all know what he does. Iron Chain Dragon, just for its milling effect. Provided I'm not going up against something like Swans or something like that, it's pretty useful. Gaianite, I like this because it can run over Stardust. 2 Herbellums, they're my only level 7s. I would have a Black Rose in here, but the 2 Black Roses I have are already being used in other decks, so just gonna have to make do with the Herbellums. Colossal Fighter, the Herbellums will provide some food for the Colossal Fighter to give him a few extra points, so it's not all completely useless, and he's just a useful card in general again. My level 9 is Mistworm, it obviously isn't trash. Xyz, they're all rank 3 and I start with Leviair. If I had a second one I'd run 2, but just have to deal with the 1 for now. It's not that bad, I don't usually summon it a whole lot of times. Leviathan Dragons, running 2 of those. Obviously can go up to 3k, so they're a pretty good beat stick. 2 Aero Sharks. This is probably the most situational of all the Banishark Xyz monsters, to be quite honest. I've only ever summoned it once, and I've only ever used its effect once, and all I've dished out was 100 points of damage. So this thing's... I'm running it in here because it's part of the deck archetype, so it's not really that bad. So yeah, but yeah, situational as it is, but blah. I'm rambling now. Black Ray Lancer. This thing helps me out. I love it. If only it didn't require water attribute monsters. If it didn't specify water attribute monsters, I'd be running this in a whole bunch of other decks. But I guess I got to stick it with it in this deck. And like I said before, I go up against a Shen. I can stack into this using Needle Sunfish and Shark stickers. Get rid of the Needle Sunfish. This thing will be 100 points stronger than Shen, and then I can storm the back row if I don't like it, and then run over the Shen, which is pretty nice. Then there is, to finish off the extra deck, Zen Mains, or Zen Minus, or whatever the hell. I'm lucky enough to pull this out of the Photon Shockwave box. Apparently this is going for a fair few dollars. So it's pretty awesome I managed to get that. Alright, side deck, which doesn't even have any bloody sleeves, because I'm just I'm poor, shut up. So, for my side deck, I've got 2 Dark Simorgs. Banisharks can work pretty well with Simorgs, provided you run enough Darks. And I tried running the Simorg, like, in the main deck, like, a few months ago, like, right when the Banisharks were just coming out in Generation Force, and it just didn't work out. 2 Dakoichis gives me the +1s. Plus, they're also dark food for Dark Simorg. 2-dimension Fortress weapons. Interesting little tech I've got here. I took a look at it, saw its effect, and I kind of liked it. Cards cannot be sent from the deck to the graveyard. This is a nice little card. This I believe is a pretty nice card, because you've obviously got stuff like Light Swans who like to mill like crazy. You drop this, it sort of throws a bit of a spanner in there, a wrench in their little engine and shit, because they can't really mill off wolves to special summon those, and they're not going to mill off this shit ton of stuff in quick amount of time to get JD out quickly. So they got to work with other strategies. It's only 1700 though, so it's not going to be like, so it's not that hard to run over. It can't really go toe to toe with any of the big things, but it's pretty useful. And it can also hold off future fusion plays, which is not that bad. DD Survivor. This thing gets banished, it comes back to the field during the end phase. Of course, it has to be on the field, banished from the field. Necroface, when I have a bunch of banished cards, I just drop this, they all go back into my deck, and this thing will pick up a few thousand points. Except, yeah, not really a few thousand, but it'll gain a few. Black Salvo, extra tuner, works well with the Fortress weapon and the Dakoichi, since they're both level 4 machines. Dark attribute as well, so. Gold Sarko, it's a bit slow, but can't really think of much else to side in. D-Fissure, apparently when I took a look at the Wikia page of the Banisharks archetype, this was listed as one of its weaknesses. I don't really know why though. The D-Fissure would work pretty well in deck. I've got it sided because I've got Tengus and the Avarice, but in the cases that I'm running up against some really annoying sorts of decks like Dark World and Light Swans, this is a good card to throw in, because it'll throw their strategies off. Same thing with the Macrocosmos, it'll throw their strategies off big time. Then I got Transmigration Prophecy, another way to just recycle stuff into the deck, like Needle Sunfish, Tengus and stuff like that, and a Chaos Trap Hole, which I use against Dark Worlds, Light Swans and stuff like that to stop BLSs, JDs, Graphers and stuff like that. Grapher was a really annoying shithead in my last tournament. It was being obnoxious, pretty much. So, yeah, that's it for my Banisharks. This is the deck that's going to hopefully get me a good finish in the tournament. I finished third in the last one. Hopefully I can go 2 steps better. Even if I go 1 step better, I can't complain about that. So, yeah, that's my Banishark deck. Hope you enjoyed it. I am open to suggestions, of course. Um, but yeah, obviously I'll be doing a tournament report of that. Not going to be filming any of the duels though, because I didn't like how the other ones came out. It's just all screen flickery and stuff like that. So I'm going to wait until I actually get a proper camcorder with proper tripod and stuff like that, and then I'll start filming some duels and then some. So I will be doing a tournament report once I get home from it. But until then, um, this has been my Banishark deck, and this has been Pants. Bye.